And we're live.
Yep.
And some background music for the war. Yeah, I'm gonna say hi. How about drop side, Jen?
Hi.
Drop side. He said hi. He just got back from the job site with Jared.
Yep.
Joking about, I'm joking about night. He says he's gonna do it again tomorrow.
Fun.
I have no idea if that's accurate.
I'll never know.
Well, yeah. Not unless you do something like that, right?
See, that's so weird because like the music that you're playing is fine.
Like I said, it might be the fan.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I've killed the fan.
Yeah. Say something.
I told you that I just killed the fan.
Yeah, it's still there.
No.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna get you a viewer.
Well, I've told a few people what I'm doing, and we'll see if they show or not. I figure if not, then while we're talking, I can make myself useful.
Well, I sent the YouTube link to my wife. So she's downstairs. Hopefully she can get on there and just tell me if you're sounding funny there too.
Oh, well. Guess that just depends on what the definition of funny is, right?
Well, that's true.
Just so happens I have a paper plate game. I went to the art store today. I didn't think I was going to be painting on the wall.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. Thanks, babe. The best. By the way, she said you sound like you're talking through a fan.
well, I don't really know what to do about that.
Well, that's fine. I'm just letting you know. You could do an awesome impression of
Me as well.
Stephen Hawking.
I don't know. That sounds like you're talking to a fan, but okay. Anything interesting this week so far?
Oh, no. Well, you know, I have teenagers, so my Halloween's pretty chill.
You scare little kids or anything?
No, because there aren't any really around my house.
Well, I guess. It's pretty boring.
Pretty much. Oh.
So I think we can all agree that he will be purple for the most part. because that tends to be the most common color I've seen them in.
Yeah.
Or periwinkle.
Just use one of those colors that some people think is blue and some people think is purple and call it good.
Yeah, that's periwinkle. Kind of a mixture of gray and purple. But I see a lot of purple versions of them, so I wouldn't feel bad necessarily about doing purple. And I guess the color's all relative too, you know.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yep. It's breaking up the other.
we can come. He has on the other, that has some.
That was the one and red the sky. I am not getting super detailed stuff. Instead of mixing my normal purples, use the axes in the purple again. I really white. Suppose technically I should be using some type of green to go against purple, but I'm not really super fond of that green and purple combination. Maybe if I gray out some green. I think I only have Viridian right now. I'm gonna have to mix them. I could do that too. Life's on you, right? You need black to gray out anything. Cadmium yellow, that way I can make a little bit of green. Yeah. So are you on to another story already? Back to the novel, or still letting the other one cool?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about starting the revision. I kind of wanted to wait a little while. But then...
It's hard when you want to get it done for a schedule, too, right?
Yeah.
Deadlines are killing that way. But they also inspire.
But, I mean, I've got plenty of time. I mean, if I want to turn this thing into Ride into the future. I've got until December, well, the end of December. But it's funny because Tuesday, man, really yesterday even, I was starting to feel like I should go back and rework it, and then today I was like, oh god, that's gonna be a lot of work. So I got all scared and decided, it must not be the time yet.
And that's the way it's working out with my novel. I got a couple of chapters in. Now I've got to go back and I think I got to make a change to the first chapter's revision because I think I screwed up the numbers.
Well, that's one of those things.
Keeping a running track of the math of the bodies.
Oh, well, I've never really done a story Bible before, but even for that, I mean, it's not a short story because it's over 10,000 words, but I mean, it's like, what, novelette or whatever. It's getting up there.
Yeah, novelette or novella. 10,000 words is supposed to be a novelette.
Okay, so it's a novelette right now.
Novella is 17.5. Right.
So it's definitely not small. But I was getting lost with certain details. Kept having to go back through and relook, and I'm like, I have got to organize this better if I want to write a novel. But since I started doing it for that short, and then some of that stuff I've already worked out. So, I mean, it definitely did what I wanted it to do. I just thought that when I started it, I thought it was going to be something relatively small. And then all of a sudden it was like 10,000 words. And I was like, huh.
Yeah,
that's weird. It went from like...
The problem is.
Well, I swear, it went from 2,000 to 10,000 in like just overnight.
This is supposed to be a 4,000 word story. It's 17,000 words.
Yeah. Now, part of that, I'm pretty certain I can cut. Like, the introduction has to be redone anyway.
Do you want to, though?
Well, again, that intro, I played with it. I mean, I knew I was playing with it when I wrote it.
On the novel, you mean?
No, on the short. Because the intro, the point of view is real slippery, and I know what I was doing, but I think I can do better. I can follow some of the basic rules, and it'll be better than what I was trying to do. But I needed to do at least one. I mean, I had to play with it just to kind of see. Now that I've seen it, I can go, all right, fix this. There are a couple parts that just need to be fixed.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about what I need to go back into. I had to go back in and add some stuff because of the religious context.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but you know, it's not like it's not preaching a religion or anything.
Right.
Just the characters are Christian, and I don't know how. You know, why maybe that I should need to go back in and explain that because everybody knows what being Christian means, but particularly in the time when it was like the Third Crusade or some shit like that. The Crusades are, you know, all Christian-based warfare, right?
Okay.
Anyway. I guess because I introduced fantasy elements too. I couldn't just leave it at that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, like, I mean, it wasn't a major thing. Now Mark's part of the cast.
Okay.
Yeah, I went back in earlier. I didn't tell anybody because the last incarnation you read, I had already changed it earlier. But in that time period, a lot of times when they went into battle, they would feel the need to get shriven first. So they would do a communion and confession type thing. Or get absolved if you don't want to call it communion and confession.
Okay.
While you and Jake by name mostly make an appearance, I guess, there's a little bit of inspiration, but it's not like it's trying to model it after you guys,
Okay.
Well, you read it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Well, now I just added Mark to the names. Because we needed a friar. So it's Friar Marcus. And he knows too. I told him, I didn't get a chance to describe the friar. I said, but when I do, I'm describing the picture that he sent us. Because it's just too good not to use. Then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, he's got to be tonsured. So there'll be at least a little bit of change in that picture. But yeah, onto the denouement. Let's see if you guys hate it by the time it's delivered.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't talk to Joe either. Yeah. He's usually looking forward to Halloween. Like a big deal to me. I'm a much bigger fan of Christmas than Halloween.
Okay.
And I don't even get anything for Christmas.
Well, I suppose on one level I prefer Christmas because if you have to get rid of one, I'd get rid of Halloween. I mean, but on another level, I kind of enjoy Halloween, so I don't know.
You know, everyone has the right to enjoy whatever they enjoy. Like, I'm not trying to be a downer.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
But I'm the guy that people get pissed off at because I don't mind them setting Christmas stuff out now. And my wife's already starting to set up the tree, so whatever makes her happy. And I'm a fan of Christmas, so it's like, yeah, okay, that's good.
We put up an autumnal tree in September, so it's got like red and yellow leaves and stuff, and orange and white and red lights, and it's very autumnal, but at the same time it's it's a light up tree. It's pretty and whatnot. Although my son made a Halloween tree and it's pretty awesome. I was like, that is awesome. Like, it's got like instead of a garland, it's got like one of those snakes from Beetlejuice going around it and stuff. And it's got all these purple and orange lights and spiders and bugs crawling on it and webbing. And I was just like, this is neat. Like, it's a black tree. He really went all out and did it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty boss. So Tuesday night was there was a quiz bowl match. And my boys are on the team and whatnot, and oh my gosh, my older son, just he just about broke his buzzer, because we got to the current events section and all they said was starring Matthew Lillard, and my son was just pounding that thing. And I'm so glad it wasn't one of those things where you need to hear the whole question to really know what's being asked. Because, I hear Matthew Lillard and I think Scream. Like, that's where I first remember him.
Scream in the Name of the King. Was it Hackers? Was it Hackers? Or Hackers.
Well, he was also in 13 Ghosts. And
Train Spotting. No, it was Hackers.
Okay, but he's also been in 13 Ghosts. And,
with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. And then also, he was Shaggy in at least one,
Yeah, but I forgive him for that.
But he's also in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And my son, just boom! And as soon as he was called Five Nights at Freddy's, he was just, and it was just so funny watching him get that excited over being able to answer a question, because he was on it. So we at one point in time, we were like 13 questions down, and we came back and won. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why there was a big switch. That's just... I kind of thought my son... Because my children tend to answer a lot of questions. But my son got the very first question wrong. And he doesn't agree with the question, which I think is kind of funny. But I kind of feel like he shut down after that, because it was a long time before he answered. He normally answers quite often. So it was neat. And then they had another quiz bowl tonight, and we've never beat them before, and they won both JV and varsity. So I was rather happy. Their coach last year happened to run into my wife because she was still working at the shirt company, at Pro Prince, and he was ordering shirts for his team, and that's how she knew he must be a coach. And their coach was talking about my boys last year. Didn't know he was talking to their mom, but he's like, "Yeah, Marion's got a couple kids. I think they're brothers. They got kind of weird names." Like, yeah, those are my boys. So I'm happy they won.
Okay.
Well, it's just one of those things. I don't understand, because so a lot of this stuff, I mean, it sounds like I'm bragging, and I guess I am, but like, I've watched my boys do this.
You can be a proud dad, like anybody else can be a proud dad. What's wrong with that?
Okay, but
I'm certainly not going to step on you and go, "Hey, don't be proud of your kids."
but it's not like my boys are doing anything to prepare for this. Like, it is one of the easiest competitions ever for them, and they don't know everything, and they get beaten, whatever, but they tend to be our top scorers, and it's not like they're really working hard to be the top scorers. So, but they don't want to, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do that again." And it's like, you're like one of the best, if not they're at least in the top 3 people. Like, the 2 of them comprise at least the top 2 of the top 3, at least, currently on the team. And I'm like, dude, you found something you're good at. Like, do it. I don't understand why you would. I don't want to do that. Like, okay.
Maybe it's just because he doesn't want mom and dad to watch.
Well, the other coaches asked me to help coach. Not that I'm coaching anything, because I don't. But I'm basically there as the backup, as the gopher, because I don't know what I'm doing, which is fine. I mean, whatever. I don't care. But, like on Tuesday, they needed they like to have the reader and someone else to kind of just keep track of scores, just to double check, make sure everything's working. That's all I did, was keep track of points. And all right, whatever, I can do that. I figured, if they need it, they need it. So I give it, try to help out. Oh. Oh, I don't know if I'll be around Saturday.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm not... It's nothing definitive. And currently, the plan is I will be. But, Rhonda's aunt had a heart attack last night.
Ooh.
And apparently she's doing fine now. Lady is crazy. She's out for a walk. She thinks she's having a heart attack, so she goes home and takes a shower before she calls anyone. Like, you could have died in the shower. But whatever.
Well, at least, they say when you die, you avoid yourself. If you're in the shower.
Yeah, it's easy cleanup. But still.
Moms tend to think that way.
That's funny. Because she is a neat freak. But anyway, like currently, there's no plans to go out and visit, but I can't imagine that's going to be far off.
Right. Well, I hope the best.
Yeah.
I hope some people followed the link it donated.
I would hope.
Because I haven't really been able to pull much in for donations. You'd think, at least be able to pull in some. Allowing this to get thinner as I go towards the bottom because I'm going to glaze it with some yellow. I guess it's a wash. It's a wash if it's a lighter color and it's a glaze if it's a darker color.
Oh, okay.
So our cat's got some kind of stones, kidney stones, gallstones,
Yeah, how's that going?
urinary stones. It could kill him.
Well, yeah, that's what you said.
How's it going? Well, he voluntarily took the medication pills that you can't break up.
Oh, yeah.
He voluntarily took them yesterday, not so much today. So I'm going to guess he's feeling a little better because it took him no problem yesterday. It's pretty much being treated very keenly right now.
All of our pets got baths last night. Not one of them was happy about it.
They generally aren't.
Yeah, well. They needed it. I don't care. So they got it. They got their flea medication and all that good stuff. And
There you go. They're updated, right?
yeah.
They're not very exciting. That's why people don't still watch.
Sorry.
Well, you notice I say we. The only time we got exciting is when we got into an argument.
I'd rather not.
And I am totally agree with you. But that was our highest rated show.
It's because they like the drama.
Yeah, because people like trash. People like fucking.
Do you know who Hank Green is? It's okay if you don't. I mean, it's. You know
Well,
who John Green is?
so I know a John Green. I don't know if it's the same one you're talking about.
Writer, wrote Fault in Our Stars,
No,
Turtles
you keep
All the Way
telling
Down.
me- You keep asking me that, and I keep telling you, no, I haven't read Fault in Our Stars, so it doesn't stand out to me.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's why it sounds familiar, though, because you've asked me that before.
well, his brother, Hank Green, was talking about online content. And he's like, you can. It's easier to make hate content where you're just hating on people and things and whatever they're doing. It's like you can do that.
You get higher ratings for that shit, too, because people like to watch it.
Well, and that's what he said. He's like, you can get your ratings that way. He's like, however, he's like, we try not to do that. We've always tried to be positive, and that's why we have a huge fan base that's very, very loyal. We made people feel better and appreciated and seen, and because of that, they do all kinds of stuff. They've raised all kinds of money for things. They've
Well, that's great. I mean, that's my goal. I don't want to start fitting.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
Like I was saying, like if you watch the comic skaters, those guys, if they're getting drunk and fucking talking shit about another comic skater, those are fucking huge viewerships, right?
Yeah.
They're getting all kinds of super chats and everything else to drink and do stupid shit. Well, I guess I don't want that to be my legacy.
Right.
Like, I'm not afraid to speak my mind as far as whatever goes. But I really don't wanna. I don't wanna spread a lot of negativity. Like,
Right.
As far as if I'm talking about a movie or something like that, I don't care about that. Like, you're gonna get my honest opinion if you like it or not. If I don't like it, you know what I mean?
Right.
I expect your honest opinion. I don't care if you like something that I don't. That's not going to change the way that I respect you or whatever. That's just the way it is. Like, I value different opinions, even though I may not agree with those opinions.
Right.
So I'm never at any point looking to start shit, denigrate anybody else's idea of what's good or whatever. There are certain things I don't like and I don't buy.
Right.
Chuck Dixon asked something about how many programs are left now that, or how many pre-planned programs or something like that are left now that woke is fading out. Let me see if I can find the exact. Said, I wonder how many woke shows and movies remain in the pipeline now that the trend has run its course. And I to me it was like stupidity and mental illness have surprisingly. They are surprisingly resilient. Like that doesn't mean that somebody can't enjoy something that's woke or whatever. I don't. I don't enjoy being told what I should or shouldn't feel, or I don't enjoy like I was talking about that Audible book where a completely straight guy who was so proud of his daughter and all this other stuff and was doing time for killing a right winger because he was a bully. And this same prisoner is, a Trekkie, so he's not a bad guy because he's a Trekkie. And Trekkies couldn't be right wingers because no one on the right could be a Trekkie.
Right.
Like, what? Like, they may not believe in the Federation, but that doesn't mean that they don't enjoy Star Trek or the idea behind Star Trek or whatever.
Right.
But this perfectly straight guy that has a kid that, goes to prison and all this other shit, and transferred his time to this experimental process to get to see his daughter quicker, all of a sudden turns gay because there's a transvestite character. Well, not really, I guess. Just someone that thinks they're born in the wrong body. I don't know what transitional. I don't know. That person didn't dress like a woman. They just didn't like being called a guy and, throwing dead naming in and all this other shit. Added nothing to the story except for turn a straight guy gay within a couple of moments of walking together by themselves when there were plenty of other people around. Like, there's just no logical reason that should happen, He wasn't, he was incarcerated, but he was incarcerated in basically in the Matrix, a VR that was built just for him, that was part prison and part, rewards to see his daughter's whatever, hologram, whatever you want to call it. And really just enough to mess my painting up. There was a hair that fell across my painting, and I don't have long enough hair for that to be an issue,
Neither do I.
That's not. not right. But yeah, so and that transitional character or whatever you want to call it, because I don't know what for sure is the right thing to call it. Decides that they're not going to stay around. They're going to go back into this virtual reality permanently. So they're only just around long enough to turn a straight character gay, and then they're out. That's the kind of shit that ruins a story for me. That's nothing like real life. You don't just suddenly turn gay in a couple of strolls, and then if that person supposedly falls in love with you, they're not going to just ditch you and ditch their body or whatever. When you're in love, whether I'm guessing whether or not you're straight, you're still in love and you're motivated to be with that person. You would think,
Right.
I could be wrong. I could be way off because I'm not gay and I'm not transitional or whatever the hell it is. So I'm just making guesses, but I would think supposedly love is love, right? That's the quote, the mantra, right? Love is love. All love is love. Well, except for when the going gets tough. And I don't want to give away the plots online because I've already talked to you guys about it anyway. But that's the kind of message shit that drives me nuts. The kind of woke stuff that drives me nuts. Like, it doesn't have to be in the story. It really doesn't serve any purpose of the story. It doesn't serve the character. The character is only there to show up as that check the box here character. So they don't add any value that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, I really like The Man Who Never Missed. And in that series, The Man Who Never Missed, there is a character that basically is bi. He's transversing the lonely vastness of space, and whoever he can shack up with, he shacks up with, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't matter whether it's a man or a woman. It's company is company, and whatever. And although that's not something that I espouse, it didn't stop me from reading it, and didn't stop the books from being likable books for me. I just kind of hemmed and hawed over that part. Like, oh, that, But it wasn't look, this guy is, this guy is this, gender queer, gay, whatever. What's the difference between gender queer and gay?
I don't know.
What's the difference between gay and lesbian? They're both gay, right?
Plumbing?
That's the point is that they're gay, right?
The taste? I don't know.
Right, one tastes like fish, one tastes like mountain oyster.
I guess.
Huh? I just walked into the room. Well, you just got the bonus plan then, baby. She's like, what? I just walked into the room, huh? Well, you just got the bonus plan. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting because I don't know how far you guys can see in. That's the one good thing about the yellow stuff like that being, you know, semi-transparent. It blends easy, but I can put it over something like that orange. Did you see the whole South Park thing with Kathleen Kennedy?
I haven't seen it. I know about it.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
I just
Nina Carano is all like, and now she's going to tell everybody to unfriend them and disable the likes. And so I bought a new brush today. Did I tell you that?
what?
I went to the art store and bought a new brush today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bought a wash, soft brush.
Oh.
Because that's one of the things that Michael Whalen was saying is when he does the soft blends for the skies and stuff like that, if you get a very soft synthetic brush and just repeatedly glaze it, it comes out smoother.
Okay.
So like, well, I didn't have a very soft brush at the time that I tried that, so maybe I can remedy that. You watch any good movies lately?
Nope. Haven't had time.
Well, you said it was like just you and her the other night, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what you do with your just you and her time.
not a whole bunch, because there's normally stuff we have. I mean, nothing interesting. Ah. Ugh. Ugh. Normally, Rhonda's working on something with the house, and normally I got some kind of story to worry about. Ugh. Ugh.
It's nice to think that I'm not the slowest painter out there.
Okay.
It's, one of the things I picked up from what Michael Whalen was saying is that he goes over it and over and over and over it, and he's like, that's why he doesn't make any process videos, is because you don't know how long it's going to take, and he doesn't know when he's going to feel inspired to work on it. And of course, that guy can take all the time he wants to, so.
Right.
Yes, I have to have some more red. Some more red. I bet you can't guess what I've done to myself already.
Okay.
Not let it fucking dry. I was being facetious.
Mm.
I was actually sure you could guess, but you didn't. This is a darker red I'm using on top. Well, brighter red.
Okay.
It's also a little bit more transparent, so. The idea is that it's glaze.
So when I do my revision of my novelette, I'm gonna do the Orson Scott Card thing and completely start with a blank document. And
You mean you're going to redraft it?
yep, 100%. Start, soup to nuts, start to finish.
Yeah, fuck that. That's
I
the
wanna
advantage of having a word processor. You don't ever have to do that again.
Well, I mean, there are. I
Of
don't know. We'll
course,
see.
that's what I'm doing with my novel, so.
I mean, some of it's just
But
stuff.
I'm breaking that down chapter by chapter because my original first draft of the novel was all in one document. This one I'm creating documents for each chapter that I revise. And that's
If
the
I-
only reason I'm doing it that way is 'cause I'm trying your method.
Well, anyway,
That's something. I guess that's a compliment, right?
yeah, it is. I just never thought of having a method, but
Well, I mean, like you save every single draft or whatever. And
yeah, I do.
that's
And I-
actually what I'm really referring to.
And I'll still have the old draft of this one too. I just want to see if I don't know if I catch more things this way instead of trying to fix what's there. Like I don't know. I will just see if it works. I guess I'll see if I like it or not. It's one of those things where, all right, this is a good opportunity to see what this is all about. So might as well try. I think.
So you're trying a different method. That's all right. That's exactly what I'm doing. Like,
Right.
I'm
But we'll
just
see.
trying a method that had been mentioned by you because I haven't tried it. And it might be the method for me. Anything that I can find that'll help me do what I'm trying to do, right?
Right. Well, I absolutely know that
revising. I just have a hard time revising.
the
Sorry, not trying to cut you off.
the novel that I'm working on, I am 100% like. Now that I've done this novelette, I will definitely be making a story Bible. I will definitely be going through and change. I haven't decided what format I want to make it. Like I had an idea, but they started charging. There's a thing called live binders where it's like a binder, but it's all virtual, which I use for my class all the time. Because I used to be able to make as many of them as I wanted to, and you couldn't go as deep as the paid version, but you could. I'm like, I don't need that much. But now, if I want to make a new binder, I have to buy it, and I'm like, yeah, never mind. So, but it was a nice way. You can set up tabs, and it just seemed like a pretty decent way of organizing. that way you can quickly find information like, oh, hey, what did I call this thing?
See, I keep cue cards right in front of my laptop. I have a little stack of cue cards, and like the story that I'm writing right now, it has all the names in those cue cards. I don't have descriptions or whatever, which I probably should do, but I find that once I get a person's name laid out, it's easy for me to find what their voice is or find what their details are, or I can do a search really, really quick because I know the proper spelling of the name. But when I keep a story Bible, it's the same way. I got cue cards, and it'll be the Snargy plot was written out on like 4 or 5 cards.
Yeah.
And it was just basically the question I was asking, you know, what does he want? Does he get it? What's the most difficult thing he can do to get it? You know, or give up to get it.
Right.
Or face to get it. You know, and I just asked myself a series of 5 questions and gave it a card, you know. And then I boiled the plot down to a log line and wrote that on a card. So I basically know where I was going. These wings are really not that exciting.
Okay.
Looking over for reference because they're basically blue-gray.
Hold on a second.
And one jumper.
Oh.
Did you watch Black Adam?
Yeah, I saw it.
I haven't seen it, but it's free on Amazon Prime now.
Well, I mean, it's all right. It was a pretty middling movie, really. What's really sad, I think, with the Black Adam thing, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. That
I watched something, just watched something that was the same way.
well,
I watched it because it was free.
it
Oh, Renfield, that's what I watched.
I mean, it set up kind of a confrontation between him and Superman, which would have been interesting to watch.
Yeah, fire fucking him like Cavill.
But they just, they weren't going to use Henry Cavill anymore. They weren't going to. It's like this. I cannot understand the people in charge of WB. I don't get it. It's like Marvel, because they kind of had to prove themselves, and they didn't have the resources or really the reputation. They had to start with something kind of small and build their universe. And then when DC tried to just basically, skip to the end process, and it's like, well, maybe you should have spent more time developing these characters and made that compelling, because that's what made Marvel originally good. And now Marvel's just schlock, and DC's just as bad, if not worse.
Marvel originally tried to put, well, not originally, but the big wave of Marvel stuff was to put humor in it, to step away from the grittiness and more towards the humor. And DC's characters were actually kind of built for that, and they went more towards the gritty. Superman's not supposed to be gritty. It's supposed to be a goody two-shoes. When you start making him gritty, and you start making all the other characters gritty when they're not supposed to be gritty, you're not appeasing the fan base anymore, right?
Right.
I think that's some of the major problem. That, and you gotta have faith in the people you choose to play them. Like if you don't, like if you choose someone to play a character, like Henry Cavill is a great choice for no matter who you're choosing, Superman, Highlander, whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's a fan. It's the same thing with John Bernthal. Like, he made such a good Punisher because when he found out he was going to play Punisher, he went to the comic book shop to get some Punishers to read up on, right?
Right.
And the guy that owned the comic shop's like, no, you don't want those, you want these. And John Bernthal told everybody after knowing who the Punisher was that he wasn't going to be the Punisher strictly the way that it should be, because that's not what the role was. So, but he did still kind of try to pull that off. Tried to give us enough Frank Castle to where we buy the Frank Castle. We did a damn good job, but there's a lot that's way wrong with that Punisher. But the one thing we can say about it is that it's not the act. The guy that was playing Microchip, that's fine, except for he's not Microchip. We already have an expectation for Microchip, and he should be an older guy. It should be a bigger dude, not a retired CIA analyst. Which, when they picked the dude that played on Seinfeld to do him, that was a much better choice as far as accuracy of what the character looks, but then he was still too young. At least all the Punishers with microchips that I've read, he wasn't a young guy ever in those stories. I have to qualify that before somebody says, well, every old guy was a young guy once. Yeah, I know. All the young guy once.
Ugh.
This camera doesn't want to stay where it's supposed to. I wonder if this composer wrote the music for Tak and the Power of Juju.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, kind of sounds like it. Definitely has a video game kind of whole hum adventure type sound, side scrolling. I say side scrolling, but it really isn't side scrolling. It hasn't been for a long time. But still, you know, it's a timing game. You jump and tap the right person and run around in the right circles to receive the right gifts. Hmm. See, I think that's the Final Fantasy theme. That dude has to have had something to do with video games. So we were in the hardware store the other day.
Yeah.
And my wife goes, "Those are Brett's favorite gummy bears."
Albanese. It's because Albanese gummy bears are amazing. Not a sponsor, but they could be.
Well, it wouldn't do them any good to sponsor me. I don't eat any gummy bears. So.
I would eat those things online. I would just have a bag right here. I'd be like, "Arr." I would just be eating them the entire string.
Well, then your wife would know who to sue when you went into a diabetic coma.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Well, there's always got to be a bad part.
Yeah. Nothing that awesome can come without a price.
You sound tired.
I am. All this, waking up thing. Just I just don't understand why. I don't know. I just
don't understand what?
Why I should have to keep waking up every morning. I mean, I want to wake up eventually, but it doesn't have to be in the morning. Like, out of all the parts,
you picked a job that does that shit.
I know.
I would have told you not to if you were that kind of. If you had that opinion and told me about it, I would be all like, well, that's not the job for you.
Well, the problem is, like most jobs, you have to get up early for. I mean, my job starts pretty late. We don't start class until 8:40. Actually, 8:45. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I've worked in schools that start at 7:30. So, this ain't bad. But it still requires that I wake up. Ugh. Ugh.
I didn't like school that much the first time through. Never be all like, I want to live in this place.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, I was of the generation that was told, doesn't really matter what you do, you just got to go get a degree. All right. And, I got the degree, or a degree. And when I started, it wasn't terrible. Like, when I was, my first job, I think I paid $1 for insurance for my family. Now I'm paying several $100. What?
How much of a family did you have doing that first job?
Well, that's just the way it used to be. Like, you used to, there were several things that used to happen with teaching. Like, every school had a pay scale or a schedule, and you could see, all right, I'm going to start off, I'm not going to get paid a whole bunch, but by the end of it, you're doing pretty good. Well, then they took that away. So, I mean, I was already in the profession, I was already teaching, and they just took away the pay schedule. Indiana made it illegal for schools to have pay schedules.
What?
Well, so, like, it used to be when you got hired, you got paid X amount of money, and then you would get, like, scheduled raises depending on how many years you'd been teaching. And eventually you would max out whatever it was, but, when you got to the high end, you weren't, it was pretty good money. But when Indiana decided to make that illegal, among other things,
like among other things illegal, or illegal among other things they decided to make it?
Well, I mean, like, so they got rid of the pay schedule, and then they, for a while, froze our pay completely.
Well, that's shitty.
Yeah, and they took away all of our bargaining. The only thing that the union can bargain or discuss is our pay. And that's about it. Which is interesting because,
so, like you can't discuss healthcare or...
Right, can't discuss that. And
what?
You also can't discuss, like, how long is your work day? I'm like, so technically they could say I have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because you guys can't discuss, what the scope of my job is. It's just, how are you supposed to discuss how much you're getting paid if you don't know how much time you're giving up? I just don't get it. And I tell them all the time. I mean, I personally think I would walk in. It's like, all right, I get it. We're not allowed to discuss this, but just know I assume the worst. That's where I am starting from. And since you can't discuss it with me, I'm just going to assume that you do want me to work 24/7, and I'm going to ask for that kind of pay. And if you want to just say, oh, well, that's not really what we're going to. All right, fine. But they won't. But, yeah, they just. The way they. I remember one year I got a pay raise, right? It was awesome. Got a pay raise. I ended up bringing home less money because our insurance went up so high that it more than took away my raise. So not only was I bringing home less, but then I was being taxed more because, it's income. And I like this. I mean, it was bad. It was just bad. Now it's gotten better recently, but not by a whole bunch. And some of the stuff, when I can go see like bank tellers making $15 to $20 an hour, I'm like, no, wait. Technically, I make more than that per hour. But it's not a steady job because, there's teachers don't get paid for the time they're not teaching. So when people think they get summers off, that's true, but I don't get paid that time. Like, I get a check. That's because they just hold on to it and disperse it that way. But I'm not getting paid because I'm not doing any work, which is fine, except for it's too short of a time period. Like, well, you get summers off, so maybe you should go get another job. Like, who wants to hire somebody for like 2 months? You know what I mean? Like, and do you really want teachers having a second job? When the hell are they supposed to grade? When are they supposed to plan? It's like, it's just, it's not the profession that I got into. Let's put it that way. But I'm kind of stuck in it now. And I love my students.
Not the profession that you got into, or not the profession you thought you were getting into?
Well, it's not the same as it was when I started. So right. The compensation has, in my opinion, gotten worse. And God, I mean, for a while it was really bad. You could have people who were hired brand new, never worked, were getting paid higher than some experienced teachers because our pay was frozen, but then they negotiated a higher starting pay, so there were people that were frozen underneath the starting pay. And they're like, well, can't you fix that? Like, no, you have to quit and go work somewhere else where you can get paid their starting wage and make more money. And they've sandwiched a certain group, which I'm part of. They kept raising starting pay, but they had frozen the top, or they had frozen the middle, so you never got to the top. And all these people that have hardly any experience are making close to what the most experienced people are making. It's like, how are you guys trying to make this the most dead-end job possible? And like our contract this year, they gave everyone a raise, a percentage raise. I'm like, great. So the people who are already allowed to progress to the end of the pay schedule, so they're already making a lot more than I'm going to ever, also get a raise. And it's a bigger raise than I get because it's a percentage. So if you're already getting paid more, you get paid even more. And I'm like, this is the worst pay scale. And, 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 I do not like how they do that.
No kidding.
Ugh.
If it's any consolation, I don't like it either. It's probably not much of a consolation, but
Eh. And I got, I mean, I now have several former students that are now teaching. And I mean, like one in particular, I mean, I had flat out told her, I was like, look, you're smart, you're industrious.
don't do it.
Yeah, it's like, don't do this. Don't. Not because she'd be a bad teacher, because she's not. She's great. Fantastic. But because I'm like, yeah, you have so many other opportunities you could go for. Go do them. Like, get rewarded for you. But, oh well.
Well, and that's exactly what they're hoping for, is people that think the reward is not in the money.
Well, yeah,
idealists who don't put as much
they say things like
their ideal.
Well, when they say things like, you never went into, you had to know you were never going to be rich being a teacher. And I'm like, that's true, but I never thought I'd have to be poor either. That's the difference. So, like, I was getting, especially when I was a younger teacher, like, they want you to pay for supply. Whoa. Are they cutting us off?
What?
Did the NEA catch us?
What do you mean?
Oh, both our screens went blank.
No, your screen went blank. Mine didn't. I can still see everything. I don't know if it's the same on everybody's screen, but I can see you and I can hear you fine. The countdown's still going. So.
Well, yeah, I could see the live countdown, but my screen went black. Like, I could see the background, and I could see the rectangles for us, but they were black with the spinny thing. But anyway. Now I've got what I was saying.
That'd be your internet or something.
I guess. It's been,
I don't know. Like, I didn't have that happen, so.
Easiest way to tell would be to open it up on YouTube itself instead of Streamline or whatever this
well,
is.
If you open it on YouTube, you get an echo without the earphones in.
Oh, I know. That's
so, like, you can do it if you want to. I'm not gonna. I'm thinking so.
right. No, I mean, I don't care that much. Plus, let's face it. Well, I mean, I've had YouTube open while we did this, and I just kept it mute. That way I could put comments in easier, but
Well,
I see no one commenting.
If you write in here in the comments, it'll still go into YouTube.
Yeah, but I gotta log in to do the comments here.
What?
And yeah, I don't know.
You don't have
log.
You can't just click on the comments and right?
Nope.
No.
I'd have to log in, and I don't think I actually have a login.
That's weird.
Is it daylight savings time this weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. You know, I saw a meme that was going around, and it's been around for a long time. It's got some picture of a Native American and says something along the lines of, only a white man can think you can cut off the top part of a blanket and sew it onto the bottom and think you have a longer blanket. And I thought about getting snarky with whoever had posted it because it was a white guy that came up with that. It was Benjamin Franklin, who did it as a joke.
He's not trying to make it. He's not trying to make it a longer blanket. He's trying to make it.
He was also joking.
So that you can get up and go during daylight hours when daylight happened earlier.
But again, in all reality, it was a joke. Like he was being sarcastic. It was a joke that people took seriously and ruined our lives.
I didn't think you guys did that.
We used to not. And then, for some god-awful reason, I leave the state for 2 years, come back, and all of a sudden we have daylight savings time.
Wow, really?
Yes.
We used to party in Michigan until about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then go over to South Bend and party till 3, and get back at 4 or 5, something like that.
Well,
we could drink an extra hour because we could go to Indiana.
Right. See all the wonders and joys of not having daylight savings time. Yeah. Ugh. I'd also like to point out that we never had COVID before Indiana had daylight savings time. Now, it may have taken a while for it to show up, but still, I don't care. I'm just pointing it out.
Well, Michigan didn't have it either, and they had daylight savings time, so that theory's not quite sound.
No, it's not, but still.
It's not empirically sound, anyway.
Oh. Someone's going to find a clip like this somehow and take that clip and think I was serious. But oh well.
Well, then they're not very bright. And you can't do anything about stupid.
That's really my job. I'm supposed to fix that.
No, you can't fix stupid. You're supposed to prepare those who can get beyond it.
Yeah, it's always kind of funny. Like I'm sitting there and I'm watching Quiz Bowl matches, which is basically like watching Jeopardy. So if you're into that kind of thing, cool. I'm quasi-interested, I guess. I mean, sometimes I just like to see what I know. But, I mean, these are teenagers. They're not going to know anywhere near as much as what I'm going to know on most things. They can outperform me in math, like, hands down. Because, let's face it, I haven't studied that. And, like, they weren't even thought of when I stopped studying that stuff. But to hear my own son, after one of the meets, come up and go, "What the hell were they thinking?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." It's like, okay, I get it. You may not know where the setting of every book is, but if someone asks you, where was the Shining set? What state? In what state was the Shining set? Yeah. He's like, it's in a snowy, mountainous region. At least pick one of those regions in the United States. Like, somebody guessed Texas.
What?
It's one of those things.
It's stupid.
Well, part of that, some of the psychology.
If they watched the movie, they would know that it wouldn't be Texas.
I know, but A, they're teenagers. B,
Oh, wait a minute. So teenagers aren't automatically stupid.
well, I agree because my own son's a teenager, and he said, like, how do they not know this? So that's my son. So again, kind of proves the point. Not all teenagers are dumb. But I think part of the problem was it was a lightning round, and they had missed several of them already, and it just kind of became this mental block. Like they just gave up.
Quicksand.
Yeah. So
We always called it quicksand. Once it starts, you keep struggling, all it's going to do is suck you down.
yeah, and that's part of what I think it is. At least that's what I tell myself. I'm like, I'm sure if they had thought about it, they just were under pressure and weren't thinking. Yeah.
You keep telling yourself that.
Well, sometimes the stuff you think that, you look at it and you think, oh yeah, this is no problem. Like I gave a writing prompt today, and I'm looking at it. It doesn't look hard. Like I get writing the essay may not be the easiest thing, but the prompt itself is not it's not like really esoteric stuff. It's not super elevated diction or anything. It was a Thomas Sowell quote. And this girl's like, she's like, can you help me with this? I was like, well, probably not, because it's supposed to be like a test situation. Like it's a timed essay. But, if I can, I will. And she goes, I don't know what this word is. I was like, okay, which word? Because, that happens. You don't.
Right? No, I get it. What are you supposed to do if you don't know what the word is?
Exactly. You got to ask. I mean, I'm thrilled she asked. I really am. I'm also thrilled to see
I've
this.
always taught my kids that there's no stupid questions unless you know the answer.
Yeah. So the word was bureaucratic. And she just never seen it or heard it. And like, in my brain, that is not like I hear that all the time. But that's me paying attention to, politics and things like that, and business, and, you just, as an adult, you learn about bureaucracies and all that kind of stuff. So I could see a teenager not necessarily really, that's not their focus. But it's the kind of stuff that's really useful to have, like, if the kid doesn't know it, to stumble across something like that, because that's a word that could easily show up on that test. And it's not a word that I would think I need to put on a vocab list. Like, I would not think that's one that people would find hard. But finding someone that did, it's like, oh, awesome. Like, there was one year, now it wasn't AP stuff, but it was the state test, ISTEP or ECA or whatever the heck it was that called at the time. And there was an essay about being censored. And a lot of kids did not know what that meant. I mean, they just didn't, or they had a very limited perspective over the word. And it's, again, it's not a very long
That's
word.
easy to teach. Sit down, shut up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super easy to teach. But it's finding out they don't know it. It's like, oh, well, okay, cool. Like, I'm blessed.
Censure, right? Which is not the same, but it's pretty close.
Right. So, I mean, it's just one of those. I felt terrible when people were like, I don't know what that word means. And on the test, I couldn't help. It's like, I can't tell you. But it's like, try to use your context clues. But, when it's a word that most writers aren't going to think needs context clues, it's going to be hard. But but it's still kind of funny watching, God, the disparities between different skill sets. And these are all smart kids in these AP classes. I mean, they just are, but they're smart in their own little ways, and once you get beyond that, they kind of freeze up sometimes.
So they figured out that you're on the channel yet?
What? Oh, my students?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not like exactly shy about it, but it's not necessarily something I'm going to sit there and advertise for them. Because,
Well, you were at the beginning. You were all like, "I hope my kids don't find this."
well, now I don't really care as much, but yeah, advertising it. And
That's
some
what I
of
was asking.
the stuff we talk about, or some of the language we use occasionally, slips out. It's not the language I use in class.
No?
Amazingly enough, no.
I bet you drive the point home better.
Oh gosh. So yesterday was an e-learning day for the students, and then the teachers all had professional development. And part of our professional what?
That's what you said you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. So we part of the day was this speaker and talking about classroom management stuff and whatnot, and whatever. And he is asking, he's like, if this kid just refuses to, he's not doing his work because he can't read, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit there and be mad at him all year long, and like make a big production of whatever if the kid's just not doing his work. And I leaned over to a friend of mine. I was like, man, if they let you do just one kid, you're just gonna show him that yes, you are going to be doing what you're supposed to do. Do it one time, and then they'll all fall in line. It'll be wonderful. But apparently that wasn't the appropriate answer. I had to talk to one of my classes today. I was like, look, guys, it'd be great if y'all passed my class, but whatever, okay. But if you're on your phones, this is what's going to happen. And I get it. I get wanting to be on the phone. I get wanting to listen to music while you work. It's like, but I can also keep track to see what you're doing online, and I know that you're not really working on your phone. You're goofing off on your phone. I was like, now, normally, it's like, it's your education. If you don't want it, I'm not really one to force people things, but if my administrators walk in here and they see you on phones and I can't prove that you're working, I get in trouble. And while you may not care about, the fact that I could get in trouble, I care a lot. So I'm going to do the following steps if you're on your phone and not working. It's like, I'd really rather never have this come to this. Because, again, I get that you don't care and whatever, but this is what I have to do to cover my butt. And amazingly enough, they were pretty cool about that. I was like, well, there you go, guys. It was a more thoughtful reaction than I thought it was going to be. My wife used to, I remember one time, one of my sons was like, why do you ask me to do anything when if I say I don't want to, you just say, well, too bad, you're going to do it. Why don't you just tell me I'm going to do it? Why do we have this little charade where it seems like you care about my opinion? And my wife just looked at him and said, well, I'm just trying to give you a chance to give me the right answer, the answer that you know you're supposed to give, you know, a chance to do the right thing. But if you won't do the right thing, well, if you won't do it on your own as your parent, I'll get you to do it. So the boys are better if we ask them to do it and they know what the answer needs to be anyway. Like, you know, can you go take out the trash or whatever?
See, that's funny. I work the opposite way. I'm like, okay, in that case, do what I fucking told you.
That's what we're telling them too. We're just saying, you know,
you don't want an explanation. You don't want me to be nice about it. Good, fucking do it. Otherwise, I take your shit away.
Yeah.
It's like my son was smarting off to his mom one time, and I'm like, you know, you may think you're being a badass to your mom, but you're being a badass to my old lady. And if you want to be a badass to my old lady, we'll go back in the backyard with a pair of boxing gloves and sew. That was the last time he was a badass to my old lady.
Yeah. I think my older boy got, you know, which is funny because he's a tank. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he has definitely grown into just a moose. But, you know, I mean, I've sparred with him and stuff and whatnot. But, yeah, he started kind of getting and trying to intimidate his mom. And I was like, oh, no. No. You're going to die if you want to do that. It's like, you better be ready to just, you know, hit bricks. I was like, because that'll be the end. And yeah, he stopped doing that. I was like, you don't, like, that's your mom. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, I just laid it out to him. Like, we got gloves. I had all kinds of martial art equipment.
Oh, not only that.
I'm like, if you want to put yourself in a place that you think you're bad enough to talk shit like that to my old lady,
yeah,
right out back.
Well,
and that's all it really took, really. I mean,
yeah.
But on the other hand, he knows that it's the same. It's the same thing if I hear somebody's fucking with him.
Well, yeah.
But
also, I mean, as your son, I mean, yeah, I don't want them treating girlfriends or future wives like that either. So it's not just, you know, it's your mom, man, but it's also like, don't talk that way.
Yeah, I just put it in a way that he didn't think about it. That's all. Like, he's intelligent enough to know it's his mom. He shouldn't be doing that in the first place, but it was a case of showing ass, and he, you know, all kids go through that. I want to test my boundaries shit.
Yeah, I know.
He was going through his I want to test my boundary shit, and I showed him where my boundary was. I'm like, nope, that's what gets you to go out back and get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a time where if he needed me, I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Except for you don't put yourself in that place with your mom.
No.
Because you just don't, you shouldn't be doing that with your mom anyway. But if you start shit like that with anybody's old lady, somebody's going to stand up and fucking clock you. And I'd rather have it be me the first time.
Yeah.
To make him think about it in a different way, you know?
My older boy, when he was little, I mean, I guess his brother was around too, but anyway. I come home one.
But whatever.
Well, I mean, they were little, but so apparently, he got mad at his mom that day, and told her that, you know, that you better pack your shit because when my dad gets home, he's kicking you out. Oh, That's like the first time I had to explain to him. I was like, in most cases, like, yeah, I'd take a bullet for you, but I chose your mom. I got lucky with you. There's a whole different dynamic. And so he wasn't too happy to hear that, but
If not for your mom, you wouldn't be here.
yeah.
Yeah, like I've had that discussion with my boy too. It was different because he would never try to say that shit.
Well,
I was surprised that he got up to me enough for her to be like, "What did you just say to me?" And what? Your father gets home. Like that's not think first time I heard that shit.
I mean, that's just. She's like, you know how hard it is to act like you're mad when you just want to laugh your ass off?
Oh yeah. That's another one of those quirky rules that we have with our kids.
Yeah.
The rule is that if it's funny, you don't get punished. So, because that's exactly it. How do you punish a kid when you're laughing your ass off?
Yeah.
So they try to approach their bad behavior in a way that's either pranked or funny or whatever. But by approaching their bad behavior that way, they really weren't behaving as badly as they thought they were behaving.
Yeah. That sounds good.
But yeah, we've always had that kind of rule. I'm like, if they got angry with their mom, they try to do some stupid ass shit, like instead of him trying to call her out or whatever, the next thing he did when he got angry with her was try to put cellophane across the toilet.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna kill the stream because I can't do anything until this shit dries.
All right.
And we can talk for a couple minutes afterwards, and that's a little bit early. Nobody's watching. I don't think anybody's watching anyway. But anyone who is, thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let us know what you think. Be sure to visit the link in the box below and go over and help out as much as you can if you want to help out. We definitely could use help for the victims. Other than that, good night. God bless. Much love.
Peace.